I've been trading and investing in the stock market for most of my adult life. Stock trading is how I made my living and ultimately my fortune. Starting with only a few $1,000s, I was able to parlay my winnings to become a multi-millionaire by age 34. My real-world education began when I was an adolescent. I dropped out of school in the 8th grade at age 15, which means that I am almost completely self-educated. I left school at age 15. I have never seen the inside of a high school as a student, let alone attended a university. What I did have, however, was a thirst for knowledge and a burning desire to succeed, to be the best trader I could be. I became a fanatical student of the stock market, its history, and human behavior. I started out by reading the financial news and stock reports at the local library. Over the years, I've read an incredible number of investment books, including more than 1,000 titles in my personal library alone. In light of my lack of starting resources and formal education, the level of success I have achieved strikes some people as unlikely or even impossible. Along the way, some have even tried to discourage me. You too probably will face people who will try to dissuade you from trying. You will hear things such as, "It's a rigged game, you're gambling," and "Stocks are too risky." Don't let anyone convince you that you can't do it. Those who think it's not possible to achieve super performance in stocks say so only because they never achieved it themselves, and so it's hard for them to imagine. Ignore any discouragement you may encounter and pay attention instead to the empowering principles I am about to share with you. If you spend time studying and applying them, you too can realize results that will amaze even the most ambitious positive thinkers. Then the same people who said it couldn't be done will ask you the question they always ask me: how did you do it? From the very beginning, I saw the stock market as the ultimate opportunity for financial reward. Trading also appealed to me because I liked the idea of having the freedom to work at home and taking responsibility for my own success. In my young adult years, I had tried several different business ventures, and even though I felt enthusiastic, that burning passion was still missing. Finally, I came to realize that what I was most passionate about was freedom, freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want. One day it dawned on me, life is rich even if you're not. I realized that things were happening every day, good and bad, and that it was just a matter of deciding what I wanted to be part of. People were getting rich in the stock market. I said to myself, why not be part of that? I figured that if I learned how to invest in the market and trade successfully, I could achieve my dream of financial freedom and, more important, personal freedom. Besides, who was going to hire a junior high school dropout? The stock market was the one place I could see that had unlimited potential without prejudice. The author and successful businessman Harvey Mackay said it perfectly: optimists are right. So are pessimists. It's up to you to choose which you will be. When I started trading in the early 1980s, I had only a few $1,000s to invest. I had to make huge returns on my relatively small account to survive and still have some trading capital left. This forced me to hone my timing and learn the necessary tactics for extracting consistent profits out of the stock market day in and day out. Like a pro poker player who grinds out a steady living while consistently building a bankroll, I became a stock market rounder. My philosophy and approach to trading is to be a conservative aggressive opportunist. Although this may seem like a contradiction in terms, it is not. It simply means that my style is to be aggressive in my pursuit of potential reward and at the same time be extremely risk-conscious. Although I may invest or trade aggressively, my primary thought process begins with, how much can I lose, not just, how much can I gain? During my 30 years as a stock trader, I've discovered that a risk-first approach is what works best for me. It has allowed me not just to perform well but to achieve super performance, averaging 220% per year from 1994 to 2000, a 33,500% compounded total return, including a U.S. investing championship title in 1997. My approach also proved invaluable when I needed it the most, cashing me out ahead of 8 bear markets, including 2 of the worst declines in U.S. stock market history. By adhering to a disciplined strategy, I was able to accomplish the most important goal of all, to protect my trading account and keep the profits I made during the previous bull markets. When I began trading in the early 1980s, I endured a 6-year period when I didn't make any money in stocks. In fact, I had a net loss. It wasn't until 1989 that I began to achieve meaningful success. What kept me going? Unconditional persistence. When you make an unshakable commitment to a way of life, you put yourself way ahead of most others in the race for success. Why? Because most people have a natural tendency to overestimate what they can achieve in the short run and underestimate what they can accomplish over the long haul. They think they've made a commitment, but when they run into difficulty, they lose steam or quit. Most people get interested in trading, but few make a real commitment. The difference between interest and commitment is the will not to give up. When you truly commit to something, you have no alternative but success. Getting interested will get you started, but commitment gets you to the finish line. The first and best investment you can make is an investment in yourself, a commitment to do what it takes and to persist. Persistence is more important than knowledge. You must persevere if you wish to succeed in anything. Knowledge and skill can be acquired through study and practice, but nothing great comes to those who quit. When people hear my success story, the 2 questions they ask most often are, how did you do it? And did you just get lucky? The assumption is that I must have taken a lot of big risks or been lucky along the way. So how did I do it? For years I worked on perfecting my trading skills, plugging away 70 to 80 hours a week, often staying up to pore over stock charts and company financials until the sun came up the next day. Even though the results weren't there yet, I persevered. I spent years separating the proverbial wheat from the chaff, perfecting my process by analyzing my successes and, more important, my failures. I invested countless hours in learning how great investors approached the market and how they created and executed trading strategies and developed the emotional discipline required to follow their models. Then something wonderful happened. My preparation intersected with opportunity. I had been honing my skills for years, and by 1990 I was fully equipped to take advantage of a new emerging bull market. With all the lessons I had learned from my trial and error days in the 1980s, the pitch was now coming across the plate, and I was staring at my chance to knock the ball out of the park. I was 100% prepared, like an Olympic athlete who has practiced and is now ready to perform with perfection. Opportunities in the stock market can spring to life on short notice. To take advantage of them, you must be prepared and ready to act. Right now, somewhere out in the world, someone is tirelessly preparing for success. If you fail to prepare, that somebody probably will make big money while you only dream about what you could have been and should have done. So prepare, because when opportunity knocks, which it definitely will, you want to be there to answer the door.